It is so cold here in the Chicagoland area. It may as well be known as Siberia. It has not warmed up since last week. We are still in the deep freeze. The temperature gauge in the car says it is 19 degrees outside of the vehicle. Although, based on the sideways blowing snow, I would hazard a guess that it's probably in the single digits, if not below zero with the wind chill. It has just been so very cold. And of course, just last month, the heat in the Jeep decided to go out. So I am doing my best to stay bundled up and try and suffer through the winter rather than getting the heat fixed right now, because I know that I'm going to want to sign up for a whole bunch of races come the spring and the summer. And registration fees are not cheap. Gear is not cheap. And so I can suffer through the pain of winter in order to be able to participate in all the races that I want to attend this year. And maybe that's the reason that so many New Year's resolutions go unresolved here in the Midwest. We like to stay warm. We like to be on our couches. We like to sit at home and watch the football game or catch up on our favorite reality program. It's hard to drag yourself to the gym or to the pool or outside even to go on a run. Oh, sure. The first week of January, the gym is absolutely packed with people with the best of intentions. But by week number 2, you can practically hear a pin drop. And it's just a dedicated few who are still at it. So this year, instead of making a resolution, I challenge you to set a goal. And maybe your goal is to get off the couch and complete your first 5K or 10K or half marathon or full marathon for that matter. Maybe you're willing to dip your toes in the water and complete your first triathlon. Or maybe you're going to up your triathlon game and move from a super sprint to a sprint or an Olympic or half Ironman or heck, even a full Ironman distance. Or maybe you've already completed the ultimate goal and are just looking to get faster this year. Whatever it may be, set yourself that goal and then create a plan to achieve it. Now, last week I mentioned that I had the good fortune to take advantage of TriDot Systems pre-season program. And they're still taking applications for their 2-month free program. Again, look down in the description and you'll find it there. Unfortunately, a program like TriDot Systems isn't for everyone. They do expect that you have completed at least one triathlon and that you will be adding an Olympic distance race or greater to your 2018 season. So what is someone who's just getting off the couch and ready to tackle that first 5K or ready to attempt their first triathlon supposed to do? Well, you could go out and buy a magazine or look on the internet for a 12-week program to get you started, but that won't be custom designed to fit your needs. So right after the summary, I am going to help you design a customized plan tailored to meet your specific needs that will help you achieve your goal race for the 2018 season. It is still bitterly cold out here. It has to be around 10 degrees. Thankfully, there's no wind chill, so that's a good thing. Like a wind chill really helps. Trying to keep the wind at my back as much as possible, a little wind there is today, so I can stay as warm as humanly possible. A failure to plan is a failure to succeed. So today I'm well dressed, out on a 10K run, and in just a second, I'll show you how you can prepare for your best 2018 race. Once you've picked out your A race, whether that be a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, a full marathon, or if you're getting started with triathlon with a super sprint or a sprint, or you're upping your game to an Olympic distance, half Ironman, Ironman, whatever the case may be, It's important to build yourself a customized training plan. So let's take a look at how you can build a 12-week customized plan that's going to meet your specific needs.
Alright, so are you ready to get started making 2018 the year that you accomplish your race goals? The first thing you're going to want to do is lay out a 12-week grid. This can be done on a piece of paper, a spreadsheet, a Word document, or even a traditional calendar. Next, be sure that you've selected a race that is at least 12 weeks out. In our example, we'll be planning for a sprint triathlon. Set your race day accordingly, plotting it on the 12-week grid. Most races take place on the weekend. Ours happens to be on a Saturday. Then it's time to do some serious self-reflection and determine if you're strongest on the swim, bike, or run. Most beginning triathletes feel the weakest about their swim. If you are preparing for a running-only race, determine the longest distance that you feel comfortable running at one time. As you begin to design your custom 12-week training program, you will start with your weakest area and build from there. This might be your swim or a tenth of the distance of your longest run. Next, let's talk about recovery, one of the most essential yet overlooked parts of the training process. It is important that you give your body an opportunity to rest and recuperate with all the activity you'll be doing during the next 12 weeks. Personally, I'm a weekend warrior, and I get most of my long training done on Saturday and Sunday, so I plan my recovery day for Mondays. Be sure to place your recovery day where it works best for you on your grid. For this example, we're going to be focusing on a sprint triathlon, which is an 850-yard swim, give or take, in open water or in the pool, a 15-mile bike, and a 5K or 3.1-mile run. Let's begin building the first few weeks of your 12-week plan. As I mentioned, most people are least comfortable with their swim, so it's important to start off gradually. Maybe you want to attempt 4 lengths of a 25-yard pool with 30-second rests in between each length. A length is going from one end of the pool to the other. A lap is going from one end of the pool to the other and back. If you need more than that 30-second rest, take it. The important thing is that you're getting your feet wet, literally. After your Monday rest day, plan on a 2-mile bike ride on Tuesday, either on a spin cycle at the gym or outdoors. Incidentally, you don't have to have a fancy bike in order to compete in triathlon. I completed my first international distance race on a hybrid. On Wednesday of week 1, it's back to the pool for another 4 lengths of 25 yards each with 30-second rests in between. And at some point during the day, try and get in a half-mile run, either on the treadmill or outdoors. On days when you have 2 different disciplines scheduled to train for, don't worry about doing them back-to-back just yet. Doing so is known as a brick, and while it will be important later in your training, for now it's more important just to get the mileage done. Continue to fill out your 12-week grid, gradually adding distance to each discipline. Be sure to get in 3 swim, bike, and run sessions per week. By the start of week 7, you should be able to complete half of your goal distance in a single day. You may wish to add an extra recovery day before making such an attempt. Over the next few weeks, continue to add distance to each discipline while attempting a few brick sessions. By the end of week 10, you should be able to complete beyond the distance of race day in at least 2 of the 3 disciplines. This should build your confidence and allow you to reduce your distances during the last 2 weeks before race day. This is known as a taper. During your taper, you should focus on form and visualizing what you hope to accomplish on race day. The day before your race, get in a quick shakeout run, trust your training, get a good night's sleep, and before you know it, you'll have completed your 12-week plan and your 2018 goal race.
2 things to remember. Number 1, listen to yourself. You know yourself better than anyone else. If the schedule that you build isn't working with your work schedule or your life schedule, shuffle things around. If you get an injury, work around that injury. Maybe you go to some strength training instead for a little bit, or if you're training for a triathlon, switch to a different event on certain days in order to recover from whatever injury you may have. Number 2, start gradually. If you're tackling your first 5K, start with a run around the block. Do not try and run that 3.1 miles the first time out of the blocks. Build your way up to it. If you're doing your first triathlon, start with your end goal in mind. So whatever your total distance is, that's what you want to put down first, and then gradually build your training up to it. So that works great if you're running your first 5K or 10K or half marathon, what have you. You start with an end goal in mind and you start slowly. So maybe that first run out is only a quarter mile if you're building to a 5K. With triathlon, you actually want to start with your weakest event the most gradually. So if you're not a very strong swimmer, maybe you start out swimming 25 yards that first time in the pool. Do what you can and build to your end goal. Well, that's it for this week. I'm going to get back on this 10K, finish it out in this 10-degree weather. Until next time, keep it rubber side down. Peace.